Since the late 2000s, it's been pretty common for turntables and record players to have a USB output, allowing you to easily connect it to your computer to digitize your records. And at first glance, this Ion PowerPlay LP may look like several of the USB turntables I've featured on this channel, but if I turn it around back, it starts to look very strange because the only thing it has is a USB port. That's it, there's no other connections on this turntable. And there is no headphone jack or built-in speakers. That USB output on the back is truly the only output this has, which makes it a digital-only turntable. The Ion PowerPlay LP turntable was introduced at the Consumer Electronics Show in January 2010. They said it turns LPs into MP3 with just one cable. It had a list price of $49.99, or by 2011 you could get a refurbished one for $39. I bet a lot of those came from people who bought one not realizing its only output was USB and then returned it.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
So when it says the Ion PowerPlay LP is a USB-powered vinyl archiving turntable, there's an implied only at the end of that. It's for archiving only, not for general purpose listening. A digital-only turntable may seem heretical, but the concept of vinyl's analog purity is a myth. For example, here's a vinyl LP from 1982, and it says right here on the back cover that even though almost all the songs on it were made from analog masters, this collection was transferred to digital and mastered as a digital recording to maintain the sound quality of the master recordings. Preserving the quality of the master recordings is obviously something this super cheap and flimsy turntable is not going to do. But nonetheless, let's give it a try anyway. It's so light you can just pick it up with one hand. I got this one at a thrift store and I put on a new stylus because you never want to trust a used needle. I also replaced the belt because the original one was hanging on by a thread. And I also installed this felt platter mat because originally it just has these little rubber bumpers for the record to sit on. So that's a lot nicer. The 1008 in the serial number means this one was made in August 2010. Due to the compact size of this turntable, a 12-inch record will hang off the edge as it plays, but the dust cover has cutouts allowing you to close it while it's playing. Although I think they missed the point of this circular decoration in the lid, it doesn't line up with the record. It has 3 speeds, 33, 45, and 78 RPM, an auto stop on-off switch, and a cueing lever to raise and lower the tone arm. And the tracking force is right around 6 grams, which is on the heavy side, but is acceptable for this kind of cartridge and stylus.
A stylus force of 6 to 8 grams should not be exceeded. A force of 1 to 2 grams is to be preferred.
According to this strobe disc, this turntable is playing about 2.5 to 3% too fast at 33 1/3 RPM, which is far enough off that it would be noticeable. It has holes in the bottom for accessing the speed adjustment trimmers, but it doesn't say which is which, so to figure that out, we'll need to remove the bottom cover. 2 of the screws holding it on are hidden in the feet, and once you do that, you see a whole lot of nothing. There are 2 trimmers built into the motor itself, marked L and H. Low is 33 1/3 and high is 45 RPM. Then there's a trimmer on this separate circuit board, which is for 78 RPM. Actually, looking on eBay, at least some of these turntables do have a sticker on the bottom telling you which trimmer hole is for which speed. And I noticed it has a JYK motor which is rated for 12 volts DC. While standard USB power only puts out 5 volts. So sure enough, this has a little MC34063 DC to DC converter stepping that up to 12 volts for the motor. And here is the USB audio converter chip made by JYK. It just says JYK 2010, so yeah, try finding a data sheet for that. JYK stands for Shenzhen Jia Yingking Electronics Company Limited, the Chinese OEM who manufactured the turntable for Ion. And while we're in here, I can see what look like mounting points for a power transformer and a strain relief for an audio output cable, so there probably was a version of this turntable which was not USB only. When adjusting a turntable, you want to start with the highest speed first and work your way down, so it got 78 tweaked to be pretty close to correct speed. 45 turns out to be the adjustment trimmer that's closest to the one for 78, so that's easy to remember, and there you can see I got it tweaked to be accurate. And finally 33 1/3, which I also tweaked to be pretty close to the correct speed, so I'm happy with that. Now let's use it for its intended purpose of digitizing records. Doing so doesn't require anything remotely modern, so I have it connected to an old Windows 7 laptop, which is perfectly suited to the role. Windows automatically found and installed several USB audio drivers and says your device is ready to use. Ion supplies their own easy vinyl tape converter software, which is a free download from their website. It supports Windows XP and newer. A Mac version is also available. And then you get a choice of connecting either a turntable or a tape player. And now it says to get the music ready to play and adjust the recording level. So I'll start the record playing. The sound is coming out of the computer's speakers, and the contrast on this level meter is not very good, but it's about halfway up the scale, which I assume is fine. You do get a range of adjustment on here, so I'll just leave it around 0. It has an option to automatically split the recording into tracks, which I'll leave enabled, and now I can start the record playing at the beginning and hit record. And now it's recording, and it says it will automatically split the tracks. The needle talk from this cartridge is so loud you hardly even need the computer's speakers turned up to hear the music. The turntable does automatically stop spinning when it reaches the end of the record, but you do have to manually stop the recording on the computer. Then it lets you enter the artist, album, and track titles, and that's it. It saves the tracks in your music folder as uncompressed WAV files. And the end result sounds okay, I guess. I really can't complain considering that this thing was under $50 when it was new. The Ion software must be applying special equalization to the audio because when I use any other program to record the output of the turntable, such as Audacity, then it sounds dramatically worse.
This is the audiophile series World of Entertainment at your command.
To the people who I'm sure are going to insist that playing your records on this turntable is going to destroy them, keep in mind its intended purpose is to play your records once while you digitize them. That's it. And one more play is all that some old records have left in them anyway. For example, this 78 was already broken to begin with, and when I picked it up, some more pieces of it broke off. For digitizing shellac 78s, a special 3mm 78 RPM stylus is highly recommended to give the best results. I definitely wouldn't recommend seeking out an Ion PowerPlay LP turntable, especially since eBay sellers are charging as much for these used as they cost when they were brand new 15 or 16 years ago. But if you come across one for a few bucks at a thrift store like I did, then it might be fun to tinker with. And speaking of tinkering, I upgraded the phono cartridge. This is called the Gartop Voice phono cartridge, and you can get it for about $4 on AliExpress. It's a direct replacement for the CZ800 knockoff ceramic phono cartridge that all of these cheap record players and turntables use, and I wouldn't say it makes a massive improvement, but I definitely can hear a difference with this cartridge. I'll include a link in the description if you want to get one of those for yourself, but in the meantime, I'll leave you with a little bit of a song you may recognize if you watch the videos by Recordology. It's called St. Thomas Everybody.